What's going on, fishy friends? Rich here, Rich's Fishes, and I think it's already a time for an update on the new black rams. Alright guys, so this time I'm standing on the other side of my fish room. We're right now around the corner. You know what, maybe it's just easier if I show you. Let's go this way. So, from over there to over here, and then over that away is where I was the other day. Some of the rams, some of the discus. Directly beneath the camera are the epistogramma and the electric blue acara above them, and the platies all the way below them. Just a little over there, just right, can't over. This way are the angels and some of the other stuff. But anyway, back to the rams. So, over here is my 20 long, my planted 20 long. This used to house Epistogramma cockatoides a long time ago when it used to be located around on the other side of the fish room. This planted 20 long has a pair of German blue rams that are, they were breeding for me, but not very consistently. Below them is where I had the gold rams that I picked up from Discus Madness. What is in there currently is an electric blue ram and the offspring of a black ram. Next to them are some of my oldest, we'll call them juvenile German blue rams that I bred in this room now. These are ones that were born on the end of January, January 28th. What does that say? February 6th. The Epistogramma Hongsfly next to them. Over here are a pair of, these are a pair of offspring from black rams that I got from Tom. Down below I have two different pairs, and one of the males has Popeye and one of the females looks all bunked up. I don't know what's going on down there. But what we came here for, the black rams are over here. This is what everybody wants to take a look at, I'm sure. So let's see what we can do. Alright, so here are the black rams. Now of course I picked this 29-gallon tank, which has probably the worst light in my entire fish room. It's El Cheapo LED strip light taped up on a piece of PVC hanging from up there. You know, it does the job so I can see what's going on in person, but it isn't that great for filming. So let's see if we can't shed a little more light on the subject here. There we go. So here are the black rams. These guys are some of the darkest I've seen in person. I'm still not quite sure if these things are just very difficult to photograph, and if photos don't do them justice, or if some of them are just not nearly as nice looking as some others. These guys are a little difficult to sex. I've got what looks like at least one female. And today's Sunday, so I've had these in my fish room for about 2 days now. I got them on Friday, and today's Sunday. There are two fish that seem to enjoy each other's company. I'm hoping that ends up being a pair. Ideally, I'd hope to see more than one pair out of this group of 8 that I got. Maybe these are the two that seem to be hanging out over on this corner the majority of the time. I've got this big silk fake plant in here. It's really the only fake plant I keep in my whole fish room. It's just to provide a little bit of cover and let the fish run and hide if they feel they need to. If my concerns about having only one female were correct, then that female is gonna need some spots to retreat. But these guys are a little more difficult than regular rams to sex. Some of the more commonly used traits, like the extended second dorsal ray, I don't think that can be used for these guys. It's very difficult to see if any of the females might have a pink belly, and or I've just not experienced that yet. I'm personally colorblind, so maybe it's even harder for me. But what I go by is the length of the anal fin on most of the rams, and whether or not it extends past the caudal fin, the tail. Like, I believe that one could be a female. Whereas that one coming at us is probably a male. That one could be a female. I'm not sure if that's the same fish I just showed. Move the light. But anyway, these are the black rams I was so excited about. Now, I didn't do a great job of actually showing the fish in the unboxing video. That's because all the lights in the fish room were off. I came home and made it a special point to make sure I could take care of the receiving and unboxing the delivery to make sure that these fish were good and healthy and got into a tank quick. So my main priority there was the fish and not so much filming a video. I took the opportunity to film while I did it. But through all the troubles I had for this transaction, I'm glad that I went through with it. These are some really good looking fish, and I'm pretty excited about it. They all have some different characteristics. Some of them have a bit of blue speckling. Some of them have a bit more red on their extremities of their fins. What else had I noticed? They all look like they're pretty hungry all the time, which is a good sign. A couple of them have slightly sunken bellies. I'm hoping they're just a bit hungry still. I did treat the tank with general cure and erythromycin. I'm not sure if I should be treating with anything beyond that. I don't see any particular reason to treat, but that's usually what I do for an initial quarantine in my fish room. So these guys are looking real good. I'm real excited. These guys, however, are not looking so great. Here's the male that has Popeye. This guy's gotten an Epsom salt bath every day for the past 4 or 5 days. There's general cure and erythromycin in this tank as well. It's really unfortunate. Now that female looks like she might have something going on with her. And I do have another pair on the other side of the divided tank here. They seem okay. I mean, obviously that divider is not preventing any germs or whatever might be the cause of the issue over on the left side of the tank. So I'm a little bummed about that. Up here is the male black ram offspring that I got from Coral Bandit. Which is just an exquisite looking fish. Those extended dorsal rays are some of the most fantastic elongated rays I've seen. And it's really a trait that is not always seen in rams the way it's supposed to be. Where's the other ram? The female's hiding back there. So these are the offspring of black rams, which are not super dark, not super black. They are very, very, very good looking fish. So you can even see right here, even on the female, even this female has elongated second and third dorsal rays. But her anal fin is much shorter than her male counterparts. Some people also say the back of the dorsal fin, whether or not it comes to a point, can indicate male or female. I've not really found that to be super accurate with rams. I know it is with some cichlids and other fish, but in this particular pair it seems to be true. The back of the dorsal ray here on this female fish is a little rounder, a little blunter than the back of the dorsal ray here on the male fish, which sort of comes to a point. And then behind me are that pair we were talking about earlier. That's an electric blue hybrid female. And the back end of that male's dorsal fin is almost like a long fin attribute. Unfortunately, these two haven't bred for me in quite a while, and I'm not sure why. Been floating in their tank. There's some dip and pour containers with fry from different tanks and different generations. This particular container has maybe one fry in it. That's a batch that didn't do too so well. And then down here are some of the juvies that are growing out. which are doing super well. There's another 10 gallon. These are some golds that are growing out down here. These are the Epistogramma Hongsley. They were born right upstairs in this tank here. And they've since moved to their new home down here. Got some more of the RAM Fryer over here in this container. Let's see, these are 2 different batches. Electric Blue Rams from February 21st, and German Blues from my 17-gallon tank from February 26th. More RAM Fry down here. So next to them in this tank, behind them in the tank back there, that's the sponge filter in that other tank. Maybe you can see some of the fish way down low. And then one more slightly smaller one up that way. Over here is the tank that I was showing where I had a pair that were parent raising their fish, their fry I should say, but unfortunately I found the male right there yesterday, which really sucks. This is the first pair I've seen do a really good job of actually parent raised without gobbling up the fry after just a few days. Well, there's the female, and there's still a couple of fry around her. So she's still doing a good job, but unfortunately I'm not going to be able to let that pair do that again, because without the male, it's a little bit difficult. There's one of my guppies. I just took him out of one of the guppy tanks and threw him up here in this tank where I haven't been keeping anything but snails. I just kind of wanted to keep the cycle going here. Speaking of snails, does anybody know anything about snails? Could that be a mystery snail? I've never seen one of these in my fish room before. I always get tons of these little pond snails, pest snails, whatever they're called. I have Malaysian trumpet snails, assassin snails, but I've never seen that guy before. And I think it could be a mystery snail. And I wonder how it came in here. As far as I understand, mystery snails lay their eggs outside of a tank. I'm honestly not too sure. The albino angels. These are the albino Dantum angels. Of course, they won't turn and give me their profile view. There's some good looking fish. This is the tank where I tossed those lamp eyes when I was moving the black rams, and a couple of the cories and the pleco. Every time I show corridors in my fish room, somebody points out that obviously 1 or 2 cories is not a happy group. I'm fully aware of that, by the way. I've always started with larger groups of cories, but unfortunately they end up dwindling very often in my fish room. Here, in this particular tank, I started with 9 Julie cories, and slowly but surely I stopped marking by the time I lost 5 of them. There's 1 Julie left in here, and the 2 pandas that came from the tank around the corner, which started as a group of, I forget, 9 or 12. I do still have about 9. These are green cories, I think. Down here with some of the discus. Some of the other big angels. I unfortunately lost my biggest black angel recently, and I was quite upset about that. Let me think. Did I throw over? I did. I threw a guppy in this little tank too. There's been a couple of cherry shrimp in here for the longest time. I threw a couple of buried females in here a long time ago. Saw a couple of little shrimplets, but they never made it very far or very long in that particular tank. But anyway, guys, I got some work to do. I got ram fry to tend to. This is my most recent batch of fry to date that are just free swimming as of today, and I forget who it was that. Alright, slight battery malfunction. I hope that didn't screw everything up. But anyway, this is my most recent free swimming fry. And per the suggestion of someone whose name I forget, I'm going to try to avoid feeding brine shrimp for the first week or so for this batch, and I'm going to try feeding microworms. I don't have any vinegar worms as suggested. I know that is a good choice. I do have microworms, banana worms, and Walter worms, so maybe I'll go ahead and try using those and see if I get any kind of different survival rate. Alright guys, so that's it for the first Black Ram update. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, shoot me a comment, shoot me an email at richesfishes@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys in the next video.